Good morning, everyone. Mr. Pass, District Director Gaurav Shekhar, if you could please make an announcement as to what is happening because the meeting is on live stream. People might be wondering.
Absolutely. Good morning, District 50. We're very glad to have all of you here, and let's give ourselves a big wave of applause to everybody who has made to this meeting this morning. Now, just to give you a glimpse of the past, try to feel that carpet of the big hotel ballroom underneath your feet right now. And if you can move your chairs around a bit, don't just bump into one another because you know it's a big ballroom, but still we've got a lot of people inside the room. And if the smell of the breakfast still lingers from the hotel lobby, well, we've got a good menu out there today. But what we are trying to do here is we have a team of 6 sergeant-at-arms who are diligently looking at the waiting room to make sure that you are uh, allowed to be a part of this meeting. Now, everybody who has a vote is in this meeting. In case you don't have a vote, you still have the opportunity to see what unfolds in a business meeting and how things happen. And there's a live stream for that. The link to the live stream is on d50tm.org. I believe you already have it if you're watching this. To the delegates who are in the room, your club standing has been verified. Your own standing as a paid member has been verified, and that's why you have a confirmation that allowed you to be in this meeting. Some of you might carry multiple votes, and that has been taken care of through the election system that we'll be using this morning. It's called Election Runner. And as we get closer to the election part, I will explain what the process is. It's a very straightforward process. With 2 clicks, you'll be able to elect your leaders for the next year. 2 clicks is all it takes. If it takes a 3rd click, well, then I probably did not count the right way. But it's a very straightforward and simple process. We are going to close the waiting room in about a minute because we just finished off our area director report. So there are some people who are flowing in to this meeting. But if you get us a few minutes, we should be starting very soon. But thank you for your patience. And thank you for supporting our efforts in choosing the best of the best for our next year. Let's give a big wave of applause to everybody who has made it happen in District 50 this year. It's not about just coming to this business meeting, but a million things that you all have done in the district, in your clubs, in your areas, divisions. There are no words to say thank you. You know, one of the things that I always like mentioning is being a volunteer is all about giving a part of your life. You literally give a part of your life away because you could have used that time, energy, effort, space for something else, but you chose to give it away. And there is no way anybody can thank you enough for doing that. Another thing to keep in mind is that the ballots that we have will be sent to your registered email address with Toastmasters. That's our way of ensuring that we are sending it to the right person. So when it is time for the election, just make sure that you check the email address that is registered with Toastmasters. If you were an officer and you voted last year, it's the same process again. So you know it's very convenient. On a side note, if every election happened this way, we would know who the leaders are within 5 minutes. We'll just take a few moments and get started with the business meeting.
For those of you just joining, I have dropped the meeting minutes from last year's business meeting, as well as the agenda and the proposed alignment for your review so that you can go ahead and start looking at that now as they are gathering credentials. And you will be able to see what happened last year and be prepared to approve those minutes when that time comes. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing this morning? I apologize for my technical difficulties this morning, and I would just like to make sure everyone is in the room before we get started. I saw Michelle Chadwick here. Thank you guys so much for your patience this morning. And Joe Pye. Is Joe Pye in the room? If you could just put it in the chat. Okay, yes, thank you, Joe. Farzana Chauhan.
Yes, I am. Hi, Monica.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Everyone.
Monica Rose.
Yes, good morning. I am here.
All right, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. And who else? Our senior 7 on the call. Christy, Walter, Luana. All here, Michelle? You've all checked already? See, that's what I'm talking about. All right. So the time is now 9:10. I will put myself on mute. I have to have a quick conversation with one of our senior sergeant at arms, and is Julia Stallings in the room? If you could put that in the chat for me, please. All right, we will now get underway. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. That's the time for you to say hey or respond. District 50 Council meeting will come to order. If you would be so inclined, please stand with me as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Madam,
As we
sorry,
Yes.
just to verify, who is gonna share the deck? I just want to make sure.
Yvonne Broach.
Okay, cool. And she has access and everything. I just didn't see the screen share, so I wanted to make sure that that was taken care of before you really got started. Sorry.
Okay. As we move forward in our roles this year, it is virtually important that we keep the district mission in the mind of everything we do. This includes the work we are doing in this district council meeting. The district mission is to build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. Greetings, everyone. I am Monica Durden, your district director and presiding officer at this meeting. Welcome, clubs, officers, district staff, members, and guests. I'm excited to see everyone in the room, as well as those watching via live stream. Please help me welcome our International Director, Region 5 nominated candidate. Before I say that, I would like to say that our International Region 5 directors nominated candidates are here, and they have 2 minutes to speak, to address the group. Rob, you have that? They have 2 minutes to address the group. So please pin our timer. Rob Giles, if you could show that you are the timer.
Madam Director, I'm unable to rename myself.
Okay. So if our 2 speakers could please pin Rob Giles. Rosanna, please let me know when you're ready. We'll hear from our international nominated candidates for Region 5. Rosanna Chauhan will go first. Distinguished Toastmaster Fajana Chauhan will go first, and following her will be Monica Rose, Distinguished Toastmaster. Fajana, have you pinned the timer?
Yes, I have, and I'm ready.
Please help me welcome our International Director, Region 5 nominated candidate, Distinguished Toastmaster Fajana Chauhan.
Honorable District 50 Toastmasters and leaders, your journey of resilience during this past year is remarkable. Congratulations on supporting each other. You have chartered 5 new clubs and 35 clubs are distinguished or better. This shows your grit. I have great memories of your kindness during my visit to your district, and it is so good to see all of you here today. At this time, when I'm running for international director, our challenges are huge and unforeseen as an organization. We face 2 main challenges. First is the retention at both club and membership level. Our second challenge is what we will look like going through this virtual world. Are we going to continue the meetings online, or will we have some kind of a hybrid model? Definitely those who would like to meet on site will do that. But we need to reevaluate our structure and program during this transition through virtual world. This reevaluation, analysis, along with other strategic initiatives and adjustments are what I aspire to work on as a member of the board, meaning how our organization will manage all the challenges which our members and clubs are facing. My aspiration is to help accelerate the process of transformation and work towards the future which will accomplish successes of all members. My international experience of working on complex healthcare projects are uniquely aligned with board. I have worked on strategic initiatives with diverse teams in different time zones, which will help in supporting all of our districts internationally. I am Farzana Chauhan, humbly asking for your vote as Region 5 International Director. Please vote for Farzana Chauhan. Stay safe and thank you. Monica, back to you.
Thank you, Farzana. Thank you, Farzana. Monica Rose, are you ready?
Almost there.
Okay.
I am ready.
Please help me welcome our International Director, Region 5 nominated candidate, Distinguished Toastmaster, Monica Rose.
Thank you, Madam District Director. Fellow Toastmasters of my home, District 50, congratulations on all of your successes that you've had throughout the year. Those that are registered in our reports, but those that we can't see. I know that there are many. I want to thank you so much for all the mentoring, motivation, and encouragement that you have helped shape me to who I am in my membership in District 50 for over 15 years. Thank you for all of what you've done to develop me. As we elect new leaders today, we look forward to many new ideas and new challenges that we can all interpret and put in for our future together. As an international director, this is another opportunity for us to look to the vision and future of our organization. I see our Pathways program improving. I see leaders will be developed in a way that they make stronger leaders and stronger clubs. This builds into our future of the organization. And because of that growth, let's just share one testimony so that if we share that with someone and they are so inclined to join, we can grow our organization one member at a time. And throughout the world, imagine the growth that we would have. Yes, these are unprecedented times, but we have an opportunity to make a change today. I bring my analytical skills as an engineer for over 35 years, serving with international customers throughout the world. I will answer the questions and represent our members worldwide. For International Director, Region 5, I humbly ask you cast your vote for Distinguished Toastmaster Monica Rose. Back to you, Madam District Director. And stay safe, everyone.
Thank you, Monica. And now we'll take the opportunity to introduce our virtual head table. We have serving as parliamentarian, Distinguished Toastmaster, Julia Stallings. Distinguished Toastmasters all, Administration Manager, Michelle Chadwick. Club Growth Director, Christy Peterson. Program Quality Director, Walter Price. And Distinguished District Director, Monica Durden. For the enjoyment of all, please keep your microphones on mute until you are ready to speak. This will reduce the background noise of today's meeting. For voting delegate, only voting delegates may participate in discussion. When you have a question, please type your name and club number into the chat and wait to be called on. You received the agenda in the district website. Without objection, the agenda is adopted. Did everybody receive a copy of the agenda? Or you had the chance to view it? If you have not had the opportunity to view it, it's located on the d50.com website. Michelle, did you get a chance to send that over to be dropped in the chat as well?
Yes, ma'am. It's been dropped a couple of times. If there's anybody that
Okay.
needs it, please let me know.
Without objection, the agenda is adopted. If there is no objection, the agenda is adopted. Our officials for this meeting are timer Rob Giles, who is a member of Dallas Social Club. Credentials chair is Distinguished Toastmaster, immediate past District Director, Gaurav Shaker. We will now explain the voting procedures and the election rules of the meeting. Please join me in welcoming immediate past District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Gaurav Shaker, to present the credentials report.
Thank you, Madam District Director. I would request another minute as I tally the final numbers and would be back with you in just a moment.
Okay, thank you, Gaurav. And we will wait for Gaurav to return.
Madam District Director, may I have the floor, please? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, good morning, District 50. It is my honor to serve as your credentials chair for this district spring conference of District 50. I would like to mention a few names before I go on with the numbers here, but I would like to say a big thank you to the Sergeant at Arms this morning who helped us in getting everybody into the business meeting by making sure that your credentials and your registration is checked off. It was a arduous task, but it couldn't have been possible without Ken Miller, Jean Gray, Britt Hall, Ram Venkat, and Don Teague. Thank you so much for doing this. And a special mention to my co-chair in the Credentials Committee, Ken Miller, for doing a fantastic job in the last few days in making sure that we can go underway with this meeting. All right, so the numbers are, as of this morning, District 50 has 166 active clubs. The number, and in this business meeting, it's the club presidents, the club vice president of education, and district officers who can vote. Now, if you are a club president or a vice president of education, the maximum number of votes that you can carry is 2. That means you might be holding these positions in 2 or more clubs. Even if you're a president of, let's say, 5 clubs, you're still restricted to just 2 votes. However, district officers, which is area directors, division directors, district director, program quality director, club road director, administration manager, finance manager. Who am I missing here? District PR manager and the immediate past district director. All of us carry 1 vote each. And we can have the 3rd vote. If you're an assistant area director, assistant division director, you unfortunately don't carry a vote in the meeting. But yes, we're thankful for your service. So with 166 clubs, the total number of, and to count for quorum, we only take into account the club presidents and vice presidents of education, which means the total number of possible votes could be 332. For quorum, we need 110. And I would be very delighted to tell you that we have 138 votes right now.
Woo-hoo.
So we have quorum here. On top of 138, we have district officers, 39 votes from the district officers, which takes the total number of votes possible today to 177. And for any candidate to get elected, all you need is 89 votes. We have 2 contested races today, the race for the district director and for the club road director, and we'll have 2 elections. Now, the platform that we are using for this, if you were in last year's business meeting, you might remember we used Election Runner, and that's the same platform we are using again. The procedure is simple. Right at the time when we are ready to vote, we will launch an election on this platform, and within a few seconds, we have tested this out, it doesn't take more than 10-15 seconds, you should receive an email to your registered email address with Toastmasters asking you to vote. If you have more than 1 vote, that would be accounted for in the system itself. But all you have to do is just click on the unique link that you get. Now that unique link will automatically go ahead and use your key and authenticate you in the system, and they would know that it's you. However, for whatever reason, if you're not able to authenticate into the system, your email would have the credentials, which is your key as well as your ID, and you can simply manually input that and you can authenticate. But the link is created in a way that you don't need to do that. You just have to click on it. And what you'll see in front of you is one simple question. Whichever election it is, whether it is district director or club road director, you'll have the 2 candidates listed, select one and submit your vote. So I think with that, Madam District Director, that's the credentials report, and we are ready to roll.
All right. Thank you, Gaurav, as well as members of the Credentials Committee. Are there any questions on the credentials report? Please type your name and club number into the chat and wait to be acknowledged. Without objection, the credentials report is adopted. Okay. Veronica Brown. And Veronica Brown, you have the floor.
That's Victoria.
Victoria Brown, you have the floor. Club number 5055.
Yes, I'm sorry I entered my name, but I thought you were instructing everybody to enter their names. So I'm gonna turn it back over to you.
Okay, thank you. Chris McKay, 1207.
Joe, close that door. Joe?
Chris, Yvonne, you're not on mute. Chris McKay, 1207. Go ahead,
Yes, good.
you have the floor.
Good morning.
Okay, you type your name and club number in the chat.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I
so I'm gonna
Madam
say, go ahead.
Madam District Director, Bala, and I'm sorry, I'm not getting a full name on my screen, did type in an actual question. I do not have the club or credentials for Bala. So Bala, if you could please provide your credentials when you come online and ask your question.
Yeah, this is Bala, Area Director 23. I was just asking, I'm a Vice President Education for 2 clubs and an Area Director. So will I be getting 3 emails or 1 email? That was my question. I think, Michelle, you answered for that, I believe. It's 1 email and 3 counts of vote.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Bala. Did anybody else have a question? Kim, I think your question was answered. Just want to be sure. Kim Richards?
Yep, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Veronica, Eloquent Orators?
I'm good. Thank you.
All right. And
Madam
Loretta?
District Director, I believe that clears out the questions from the queue.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Madam District Director,
Yes, sir.
a correction has been reported to the numbers. And we right now are looking at 139 club officers and 40 district officers, which takes the tally to 179.
139 district?
Yes, 139 district officers, club officers and 40 district officers. The total tally is at 179 votes. We would need 90 votes for somebody to win the election. This is the point of correction. My team just reported 1 member who was not accounted for.
Okay. Madam Parliamentarian, do we need to go back and do anything with that?
No, ma'am. I appreciate past district director providing that update and giving the clarity moving forward so we know exactly what the bar is. Thank you.
Without objection, the credentials report is adopted. There are no objections. The credential report is adopted. The next item of business is our minutes. A copy of the minutes from March 16, 2020 were made available to you for your review. Have you all had the opportunity to review the minutes? If there are no objections, we dispense with the meeting of the minutes. Are there any amendments to the minutes? If so, please type your name in the chat. Okay. Without any objections, go back to my script here. Without any objections, the report is adopted.
There was a name in the chat.
Okay. Loretta Levert, can you give your credentials? And you have the floor.
Okay. I'm the area director at area 12 director and the president of the 200 watts.
Okay. And what's your concern? Question?
Oh no, I don't have any concern. I'm just, you said you put your name in there. I don't have any concern at all.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam
Okay.
District Director,
Yes.
for clarification, if I may support the District Director on procedure, if you wish to make a statement regarding one of the topics that the District Director is bringing to the floor, please enter your name and your credentials. At that time, you will be given the floor to present your motion. Do not continue forward with explaining your motions, simply present the motion. And from there, we will take a second vote on motion, and at that point can go into discussions. But that is the only reason she's asking for name and credentials, is if you wish to speak.
I see.
Otherwise, you do not need to put your name and credentials in the chat. Thank
Okay.
you. Back to you,
Thank you.
Director.
All right. Thank you so much, Madam Parliamentarian. Please join me in welcoming for our district business. We will have our administration manager report. Please help me welcome Michelle Chadwick, Distinguished Toastmaster. And Yvonne, Michelle, you're on mute. And Yvonne, if you could start presenting the slides.
Yes, please.
Administration manager.
I am on, absolutely. Give me just a moment. I'm just waiting for the slide. Go ahead and hit present mode and we can scroll down because we've already done that. Good, good, good. Next. There we go. Whoop. Thank you very much, Madam District Director. It has been a pleasure this year to serve with an amazing team. The year has definitely been unexpected, so to say the least. My job has been a little easier probably than previous admin managers. However, I still tried my best to rise to the occasion to serve in any means I was needed. If you'll go to the next slide. Generally, this is the procedure or what was done for this year. So back in June of last year, I spent several hours with the esteemed Yvette Valera, who gave me every tool possible to be successful in this job. I then took the time to try to prepare a dignitary list. However, with the changes this year in the way that Toastmasters actually updated their list, I was not able to keep the list as updated as it was before. What we did then is I worked with Simon, who is our web designer or web chair, and made it into a Google document so that I could just update on the fly, and I would ask for updates, or I would occasionally pull the report and get the updates out there. So the dignitary list was on the District 50 website to be used. Again, because we weren't meeting in person, we didn't use it as much as we have in previous years. My job is also, of course, to get our deck meetings ready, our TLIs, things of that nature, any background work that needs to be done, and then support our district staff in any way that they need. Try to manage the membership lists, send out new member notifications, things of that nature. Unfortunately, the saddest part of my job this year, if you'll go to the next slide, is sympathy cards. Generally, every year we, as the admin manager, we get to send out wonderful notices of congrats, of happiness, and of course of tears. this year has been changed. Sorry, this year has been quite hard. Our district has lost a lot of people. We lost members of our family and extended members of our family. So I would like, if you would, to take a moment of silence to say wonderful thoughts and have your prayers to be with those that we've lost this year, to regular daily things as well as amidst this pandemic. So if you will take just a moment of silence. Thank you. I do, again, encourage you to get involved, and I hope that all of you have enjoyed this year. I know it has been a struggle. I know it has been rough, but we will keep going. District 50 is strong, and it has been a pleasure serving as your admin manager. Back to you, Madam District Director.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Next slide, please. And now we'll turn it over to our District Leadership Committee Chair, Distinguished Toastmaster, Joe Pye. Joe, we do have your slides within the documentation.
Thank you. Could I have the first slide on, please? No, back up, please. All right, I guess the first two slides are not on, so I'm going to give a little bit of a background. Distinguished Toastmasters, Madam District Director, District Council members. It was a pleasure serving as the District Leadership Committee Chair this year. The District Leadership Committee is governed by Article 11, Section B of the Toastmasters International District Administrative Bylaws and operated under the procedural rules adopted by the Toastmasters International Board of Directors for the selection of candidates for the District 50 elective officers. The DLC members had equal opportunity to express their perspectives during candidate selection deliberations. They exercised independent judgment during the selection process. They considered the experience, abilities, and qualifications of each candidate who applied for a position. They kept in mind the best interests of Toastmasters International, its member clubs, individual members, and the district. And they interviewed and discussed each candidate for each elective district office. Serving on the District Leadership Committee for this year, could I have the slide, please? Each division was equally represented on the District Leadership Committee. Serving the Eastern District was Distinguished Toastmaster Diana Pritchard. Serving Frontier Division, Competent Communicator, Competent Leader, and Tia Samuels. Serving Metro Division, Distinguished Toastmaster Joyce Ansell. Serving the Plains Division, Distinguished Toastmaster Alice Stewart. Representing the Southern Division, Distinguished Toastmaster Robert Serb. Town North Division, Distinguished Toastmaster Yvonne Roach. And Vista Division, Distinguished Toastmaster Mickey Bennett. As the chair, I was the non-voting member. The District Leadership Committee nominated the following candidates for the elected offices. Next slide, please. For the senior three, could I have the senior directors? For District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Walter Price. For Program Quality Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Christy Peterson. For Club Growth Director, there were two nominees, Distinguished Toastmaster Manuel or Manny Garcia, and also Distinguished Toastmaster Stuart Presley. For the division director positions, for Eastern, we have Distinguished Toastmaster Kelly McMaster. For Frontier Division, Wally Haboob. For Metro Division, Distinguished Toastmaster Deepa Venkat. For Plains Division, Competent Communicator, Advanced Leader Bronze, Visionary Communicator 4, and Engaging Humor 1, Dan Reeder. For Southern Division, Distinguished Toastmaster Wayne Sandy. For Town North Division, Advanced Communicator Gold, Advanced Leader Bronze, Hank Chavers. And for Vista Division, Distinguished Toastmaster Steve Adler. I would take a moment to congratulate all the nominees, and I will take a moment to thank all of the DLC members who worked hard behind the scenes to present this slate to District 50. Madam District Director, this concludes the District Leadership Committee report.
Thank you, District Leadership Committee Chair Joe Pye. Being on the District Leadership Committee requires an extensive time commitment and proper evaluation of candidates' assessments and interviews. Thank you to all. As Joe said, I go right back to what she said with those sentiments. We appreciate you guys in this very important process. Fellow Toastmasters, you have heard the report from the district leadership. And now we will go on to nominations. For the office of District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Walter Price has been placed as the nomination. Are there any further nominations from District Director? Please type your name and club number into the chat and wait to be acknowledged. Dwayne Wanick, Area 11.
Yes, Madam Presiding Officer.
Are there any further nominations from for District Director? Kim Adams, Eastern Division Director, you have the floor.
Madam District Director, I nominate Dwayne Wanick as the District Director for 2021-2022.
Okay. Kim, point of order, I will say, if you could please state your name, club number, and club officer role.
My name is Kim Adams. I am the Eastern Division Director. My club is Tyler Evening Toastmaster and Tyler Advanced Toastmaster.
Okay. Thank you, Kim. Kim nominated Dwayne Wanick for the office of District Director. Dwayne Wanick, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Thank you, Dwayne Wanick. Thank you. Dwayne Wanick is entered into the nomination for office of District Director. Are there any other nominations for District Director? Hearing none, I declare the nominations for District Director closed. The election process of the office of District Director will now begin. Each candidate is entitled to make a 2-minute speech. Candidates will speak in alphabetical order by last name, including the floor candidates. The time will be 2-minute speeches as follows for our timer. 1 minute green. While it says that there have to be a second. That's not what my notes say. Madam Parliamentarian, if you could verify. if there has
Yes,
to be.
ma'am. Thank you so much, and thank you, Violet, for the question. When we have a motion on the floor, that does require, again, for the motion topic to be brought up, that motion be seconded, and then we go into discussion. On nomination, that is not necessarily the case. Madam District Director does have the parliamentary rules as well. But Violet, very good question. It's better to ask than to be wrong later. So I appreciate you bringing it up, ma'am.
Okay. And for our timer, thank you, Madam Parliamentarian. They will have 2-minute speeches to deliver. The candidates will speak in alphabetical order by last name, including 4 candidates. The timers will time the 2-minute speeches as follows: 1 minute green, 1.5 minute yellow, 2 minutes red. When the 2 minutes have expired, the timer will begin to mute the speaker. For the Office of District Director, please help me welcome Distinguished Toastmaster Walter Price.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I really appreciate the opportunity. And fellow Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmasters, I really appreciate your confidence in me as the Program Quality Director this past year. We've had a lot of challenges, but we overcame as a team. And this is probably the most challenging time that we've ever had in District 50 during the pandemic. And we still delivered all of the trainings, all of the conferences, all of the conclaves, all of the weekly trainings. We still deliver that in spite of the pandemic. I put before me all the time, we build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. Last night, I told you about myself. I've also had the pleasure of being executive director of nonprofits. I've run businesses, and I manage soldiers in the United States Army as a captain in the United States Army. Today, I want to talk about what I want to do as district director. Member focus is one of the things that I've always put forward. Innovative planning, benchmarking with other districts as well, retention of members. We lost a lot of members. And so I want to go back and connect with them. That's the theme that I gave our chair for this conference, connecting back to our members and reaching back. More public relations visibility, getting on television, getting on radio and telling people about District 50. That's going to help us have distinguished clubs by going everywhere we can to talk about Toastmasters. Having more hybrid clubs. We've seen that hybrid works and we can utilize it as well. Innovative training. As you know, I was responsible, my team was responsible for training, having more innovative training and really utilizing that. Different subjects that we haven't seen before. How to give a pitch, how to give a keynote, other trainings that we traditionally don't have. And then I want to have a standing meeting with the district director twice a month, that anyone can come forward and talk about anything they want to related to Toastmasters in District 50, how we can improve Toastmasters. And then of course, refining our website. When we go to our website, it should tell us right then, and we can go to our next area, refining our District 50 website and adding on to that. And then finally, training and developing new leaders. Many times we get the same leaders. What you've seen from me is that I go out and train new leaders. You saw me as the chief judge last year in the heart of that pandemic. We've never had a chief judge or a team go through contests the way we've gone through that pandemic. And we pivoted and we did that successfully. And then also, as you know, you've seen me.
Thank you, Walter. You have reached a 2-minute mark. Thank you. And now we will hear from our floor candidate for the Office of District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Dwayne Wanick.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Hello, D50. This has been an incredibly humbling experience. In the over 150 scheduled one-on-ones, phone calls, and yes, even in-person meetings, I walked away with 3 common themes that you're willing to share with me. You want better communication, less rambling emails and incoherent spams of emails coming from your district. You want more thorough transparency. You want to understand what we're doing and why. And the third, oh my God, please fix the website. It's slow and I can't find what I want. None of this is rocket science. It just has to be important to your leadership team. I can tell you that if it's important to you, it's important to me. You have a clear choice. When we exit this pandemic, you can decide that we can go back to the way things were, back to status quo, or you can use this as an opportunity to pivot and innovate. Let's make D50 what we want it to be. Let's innovate to improve our members' experience. Take a chance on the underdog candidate. My name is Dwayne Wannick, and I'm asking for your vote. Let's innovate together. Madam Presiding Officer, I concede the balance of my time for the good of the order.
Thank you, Dwayne Wannick. And now, Gaurav, are you ready?
Madam District Director, I am on my way of starting the election. The scheduled time for the election is 9:57 a.m., which is 2 minutes from now.
Okay.
Everybody should be getting an email in their inbox asking you to vote. If you have multiple votes, that has been accounted for in the system.
Gaurav, for clarification, should members be receiving their email to vote?
Yes, they would be. And
okay.
Just give me one moment and I will announce when I see the emails getting launched.
Okay.
Before the system listens to our inner voice, there is an invoice that needs to be taken care of. So that's happening at the moment.
Completely understandable.
Please check your registered emails. You should have received an email from District 50 Toastmasters with the subject line, "Your invitation to vote in the election, District Director 2021-22." Thank you. Madam District Director, the election is set to end at 10:10 a.m. to account for any technical difficulties that anybody would have.
Okay. Please check your Toastmasters registered email and cast your vote.
We have so far received 85% of the votes. So 123 of the 145 possible members have voted.
Past District Director Shakar, do you have any guidance, if any? We have a few people who are getting red flags that there was an error or an issue in submitting their vote. Do you have any FAQs around that topic?
If you didn't get the vote, we can try to send it again through the system, the email to vote.
We have had
And if you have, yes, if you're not able to log in, let's say you click on the button which says click here to vote, the system is designed to automatically log you in. However, if that doesn't happen and it is asking you for credentials, which is the key and the password, you should have that in your email. You can simply plug that in manually and you should be able to vote. The voter ID and the voter key are the two things that you need. But if you've not got the email, then that's a different issue that we'll have to quickly look into.
They can also check their spam or junk folder just in case.
Absolutely. Thank you, Gauri.
Or if you have Gmail, sometimes it goes into one of those promotional folders,
yeah,
subfolders kind of things too.
We have received votes from 132 of 145 people so far. So just getting there.
And while we wait on that, the votes to go through, and Gaurav, I'm going to send you a message because they would like observers to be moved over with them. We're going to move on to the audit report. And for the audit report, we have our committee chair, which is Pretty Kara.
Good morning, everyone. First, I'd like to thank Jen Hope, who's the finance manager, for doing a tremendous job for her organization, due diligence, and attention to detail regarding the district finances. So let's give a big round of applause to Jen, especially given the current circumstances that we're working in. The audit committee met on the evening of February 11 earlier this year. We followed the Toastmaster International Audit Committee guidelines, and we had 3 audit members, Aaron Stock, Chris Tutti, and Katie Villarreal. And Jen Hope was also present during the meeting. The results of our audit was that all documentation was presented and well organized in the district Google Drive. All transactions on the receipt and check registered, agreed to the bank statements, and were supported by the appropriate documentation. In the past, we've always had situations where expenses were over $500 that needed an extra set of eyes. However, this year, given the current circumstances, there was only 1 transaction that was over $500, and the approvals for that were received prior to issuing the check. Debit card transactions, there has been an increase in the debit card transactions over the past year, and Jenny was really good enough in creating a template that listed all of the recurring charges on the district debit card. This list was approved by the Senior 3 in September of 2020. So in our opinion, the mid-year profit and loss statement, the actual versus budget, presents fairly in all material aspects the financial position of the district in accordance to the Toastmaster International Audit Guidelines. And that concludes my audit report. Great job, Jenny. Thank you all.
Thank you, Pretty.
Yeah, good morning, District 50. Pretty, thank you so much for you and your team's review of the financial information for District 50. I think it's really important that club members and the administration and leadership team know that what is being submitted and reported is correct. I just have a few things to talk about today. This has been a challenging year, and there have been some innovations that we've made because of the pandemic. Obviously, the audit was done virtually. All of the documentation was done virtually, but we made some other changes just to try to make sure that everything was in order. What I'd like to do is just briefly present the financial statement for the district, and then also give you an idea of what the cash position is for going into the next term. So could I have the next slide, please? First of all, the financial statement is, this particular one is year to date April, and it includes the actual and the budget and a variance. You can see that we are pretty close on income, but we are still under budget. And that's primarily because of not being able to retain all of our members and clubs. The expense lines, I have to tell you that our budget was pretty aggressive, and most of the amounts that are listed in club growth and in recognition have to do with Bookstore Bucks. And Bookstore Bucks have very unique accounting inside Toastmasters. So we haven't really spent everything that we were budgeted to spend, but it's because of the way that bookstore bucks do. So right now, as you can see, we have a net profit of 34,000. We are scheduled to end the year with a net profit of quite a bit less than that. We have some more budgeted items and some expenditures yet to come. So we are in good financial position. Could I have the next slide, please? Really quickly, this is the income. The income for the bookstore and for fundraising have offsetting expenses. So please go to the next slide. As you can see, there are some expenses in those two items. But again, this is just a recap, a summary of what the district has spent and what we budgeted to spend in the variance. And then finally, what I'd like to do is give you a position of where we are with cash. And if you could show the next slide, please. What this is it shows that we have money locally. The $5,100 is in a bank account, so we have access to that. The rest of our funds are all in the district reserve. We are required to keep a minimum in that. As you can see, it's $17,000 for this year, but our cash position is $82,000. And people ask me, what happens when we don't spend all of our budget? Well, this is the answer. The answer is the cash stays in the district reserve and it's available for use for the next term. There are obviously some Toastmaster International changes pending, and I'm not sure if they'll go into effect, but they're going to actually only allow us to have 125% of the amount in this reserve. So I'm hoping that this helps clarify. I've had a really fun year being the finance manager. It's been a challenge, but I think we've made some good headway and changes to. Monica, I turn control back to you.
Thank you, Jenny. And that came from our finance manager, Jenny Hoch. You guys could wait just 1 minute.
Monica, if you're speaking, you went on mute.
Greetings, everyone. Our credentials chair wanted to have the floor. Gaurav.
Yes, thank you, Madam District Director. I understand that a few of you have not received the vote, and we have a fix for that. What we are going to do is pretty simple and straightforward stuff. I'm going to put a link in the chat, which will have just 2 questions, your name and your email address. Please take a moment to fill that out. We will verify it against our registration, your club status, and your ability to vote, and we'll assign those number of votes to you. Again, members who are registered do have the ability to come at a later point into the meeting, and some of you may have. So we will just make sure that you receive the email. So just go ahead and fill out this form that I'm going to put in the chat in just a moment. And the election has been extended, the end of the election, to just help us with these technical issues. Hopefully with this first election, we'll be good to go for the next one when we go to the Club Growth Directors election. But thank you for your patience, folks. All right, here is the link. If you have only fill it if you have not received an email to vote.
Again, only fill it out if you have not received an email to vote. If you have not received an email to vote, fill out the form.
The link is in the chat. And let's give it a minute or so that we can have everybody filling this in.
Okay.
In case somebody lost their connection and you are aware of that and they were checked in by us already, the Sergeant at Arms would simply put them back into the meeting. They can rejoin.
Sakura, were you done?
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
The floor is back to you, Madam District Director.
Okay, with that being said, we will continue on with our district leader reports. Please help me welcome to the stage District Director for the Eastern Division, Distinguished Toastmaster, Kim Adams. Kim, if you are talking, you are on mute.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Madam District Director. Our Eastern Division is such a great fun to be a part of, and it is my honor and privilege to be your Eastern Division Director this year. I know that we have been experiencing a difficult year, but we in Eastern still have fun and still is the most unique division of all division in District 50, I believe. We are more than just Toastmasters, club members. We are family, a big family. That's why you can see that every time we come together, we have a smile on our face. With the pictures you've seen there are some of the pictures of the open house meetings on hybrid, online and in person. So I could have not have done this job without the help of my awesome area directors. Just for a giggle, these are the Eastern Division statistics. We have 864 paid members, 27 paid clubs divided among 6 areas. We have 113 trained officers in this winter and 116 trained officers in the winter, 133 officers trained in the spring. We have an excellent pathway adoption rate of 86% overall. So far, we have 255 educational awards, including 6 DTMs. Of notable achievement of Eastern Division include these clubs, which are already distinguished: Toastmaster Wall, McKinney Motivators, and Tala Evening Toastmasters. We have 6 DTMs: Corrine Ambler, Hazel Cotton, Dwayne Winnick, who gave us 2 this year, Paige Redfield, and Michelle Sprite. Thank you to all of my awesome area directors, Dwayne, Loretta, Randy, Kelly, David, Rachel, and the assistants. I was never worried about our division, and I will take on Dwayne's mantra, which is, it's not June 30th yet. We still have time. Anything is possible. Thank you, Madam District Director.
Thank you, Kim. And I would like to remind all the division directors that there is a timer in the room. His name is Timer Rob Giles. Please make sure that you are pinning the timer. Okay, we will move on to the next report. Let's hear from our Frontier Division Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Susan Thomas.
Hello, everyone in the business meeting. Thank you so much for joining us. And I want to congratulate Frontier Division. We are District 50's first distinguished division. I want to congratulate all the clubs, the club officers, and our area directors, because without this process that Toastmasters has set in place, placing the member first, we would not have reached these objectives. I also want to point out that we, as Frontier Division area directors, we decided that we wanted to make sure that we built relationships first. And we wanted to make sure that we kept with the motto that no club be left behind. So towards the end of this, we incorporated these points that I asked the leaders to tell me what they've learned so far. We're not to the end yet. We have until the end of June to make everything happen. We do have one President Distinguished area, Bala, has done that for Frontier, and we appreciate the hard work. And we also have a distinguished area right now, Area 27. So in asking my leaders what they wanted or what they have achieved so far, I have these points that you were looking at, and they came from the leadership. Being a pioneer in the pandemic is what GB said. Extraordinary execution of teamwork is what Bala said. Dedication came from Wally. Determination came from Violet. Highly spirited servant leaders, Bala said. Teamwork was Flavia. Collaboration and supportive team members was Lauren. And having fun while working together as a team came from Anjali. I was so proud to see all these things that happened for my team and that they enjoyed the process of being leaders in Frontier. Frontier is crushing goals on every aspect. And we are continually putting our leaders first, putting our club members first, and making sure that there is no clubs left behind. We are treading to become select division. And then our major goal is to become president, distinguished division. So we're working hard towards that. We're in one-on-one relationships with our presidents and their club leaders to make sure that we give them all the services that they need to reach the goal. Our motto in Frontier is ain't no stopping us now because we're on the move. Back to you, Monica.
Thank you so much, Susan. And now we'll take a pause.
Madam District Director, can I have the floor for a moment?
Yes, sir. You may have the floor.
All right. So I have received 8 responses right now. And in the interest of time as well as the election, we're going to close this Gmail form that we sent out, Google form, to everybody to record in case they didn't get the credentials. Some of you received a second email. A couple of places we've figured out that there were wrong email addresses configured with Toastmasters International. So we have fixed that, and you should have had the credentials with you. But we're going to close this form that we used as a stepney here to help us with the process. The candidates, if we have received your request for the poll observers, and we will be getting them into a breakout room as soon as we have the results of the election, which should be in a few minutes from now. But if you want to alert your poll observers to just be on the lookout for Jean Gray, our Sergeant at Arms, who will be opening a breakout room soon. And Jean, I would be emailing you the list of people that you need to just put into that breakout room. But we have a few minutes before we hit that point. Madam District Director, the floor is back with you.
Okay, please stand by.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Madam District Director.
Yes, Madam Parliamentarian.
For purpose of maintaining fairness throughout this voting procedure, and in the interest of time, I would like to make a motion to amend or change our agenda just a bit. We just heard from Frontier Division. If we could move to Plains Division for our next report, and we will back up at an appropriate time to catch the division that we're skipping over for right now. I believe that would be the fairest way to handle moving forward in the interest of time.
A motion.
And it looks like we have a couple of people. The first person to throw this in is Christy Peterson, our current Club Growth Director, has seconded the motion. Christy, would you like to verbally give that for us, please?
Yes, thank you. I'm Christy Peterson, Club Growth Director, also VP of Education for both Financial Express and University Toastmasters of Dallas. I do second the motion to move ahead with the Plains Division. And if you were so willing, Madam Parliamentarian, let's go ahead and skip over both division reports at this time to be entered later so we can move ahead through the election and the reports.
That's a very good idea. We'll at this point, then I would need to restate the motion. The motion will be that Metro Division, Town North Division reports are moved to the end of the district leader report. They will be presented in alphabetical order, meaning Metro will go first, Town North, but at this time we will now move to Plains, Southern, and Vista in that order.
And I second the motion as restated. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Christy Peterson. Madam District Director.
Thank you. The motion has been brought forward that we adjust our agenda accordingly when it comes to our division reports, and it has been granted and well as seconded and now approved. We will continue on with our meeting. Next up, we have Plains Division Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Chris Williams.
Madam District Director, I will be giving the report for Division Director Chris Williams, as I am the Assistant Division Director.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Please help me welcome Distinguished Toastmaster, Assistant Division Director, Yvonne Broach.
Thank you. We would like to thank all the area directors and all the accomplishments that they have made in the past year. Not quite finished yet. In Plains Division, we have 22 paid clubs, 4 distinguished clubs, 9 almost distinguished clubs, and 4 clubs only needed between 2 to 4 need only 2 to 4 new members to become distinguished. Our very experienced and accomplished area directors include Jeffrey Cornell and his assistants, Sandra Booker and Julia Stallings. Area 42 Director Aubrey Paul and his assistant Letitia Ramanayaka. Area 43 Area Director Jamal Williams. Area 44 Director Kimberly Richards and her assistant Area Director Leanna McEachern. Area 45 Director Vishnu Maya Upadhyay and her assistant Area Director Bilas Upadhyay. Area 46 Director David Margetts, his Assistant Director Caroline Ovala, and Area 47 Director Dan Reeder. Membership in the Plains Division has declined due to the pandemic mostly, and to the loss of the ability to speak at live meetings. but we learned the value of sharing the burdens and the successes. That is our greatest achievement. On the horizon, a return to live and hybrid meetings, the best of both worlds. Madam District Director.
I'm just really talking and on mute. And now we'll move on to the Southern Division report. Distinguished Toastmaster, Dominique Glosser. Okay. I did not see Dominique in the room. Sharon Calloway, would you like to give the report for Southern if Sharon is in the room?
Yes, I can give the report. All right, fantastic. Southern Division is doing awesome and excellent. We have had the opportunity to learn and to grow this year. Area 55 has already started out. They are select distinguished. So congratulations to our Area 55. We have several clubs that are already distinguished, such as Arts District, our EY Young Guns Club, our Transit Talkers. We have a few clubs that are select distinguished, Anointed Oak Cliff Orators. We also have President's Distinguished Clubs already from Area 51, I Talk Toastmasters, Talk of the Town Toastmasters in Area 55. And we are just doing awesome and amazing in the Southern Division. We are looking forward to gaining more members and pushing on up so that we can also become a distinguished division. Thank you.
And thank you, Sharon, for delivering the Southern Division report. And now we'll move on to Vista Division, Distinguished Toastmaster, Matt Caruth.
Thank you, Monica. I want to say thanks to my Vista leadership team. It has been an honor and a pleasure serving with them. And none of the great things that Vista has accomplished over the past 10 and a half months would have been possible without them. Lots of great things. Contests. We completed all 12 area and both fall and spring division contests. Officer training. During the most recent spring TLI, 108 officers trained, 15 clubs reached their training goal, and 7 clubs had all officers trained. Education, 193 educational awards year to date, and that includes 17 level 4s, 21 level 5s, and 3 DTMs. Our Distinguished Club Program, year to date, 118 DCP goals achieved. One club is distinguished, Richardson Icebreakers. We have 3 clubs, Select Distinguished, Word Wranglers, Executive Toastmasters, and Press and Persuaders. And we have 2 clubs that have reached the highest goal, the President's Distinguished, Lennox International, and the Storytellers. And I should mention Copart and Richardson Noon are both closing in on distinguished status. And finally, that brings us to membership. Over the last year, COVID, the lockdown, and the switch to remote meetings has made membership our biggest challenge. Today, I'm happy to report a positive trend. Since the end of the spring renewal period, Vista has grown from 234 to 304 members, a 30% increase. It's positive. And as it winds down, we'll endeavor to continue this growth so we can serve more clubs and more members. Thank you, Madam Director.
Thank you, Matt. And we will pause for just a moment.
Madam District Director, may I please have the floor?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Well, first of all, thank you for all the patience that everybody has exhibited while we go through this first vote. Generally, it's the first vote that takes time, but I'm happy to report that everybody who's in the room and has expressed that whether they got the email or they didn't get it, we took care of all of that.
I need
And
to tell them you're not in the room.
we have 99% of the votes received, which means there are only 2 people who have not voted, and I don't see them in the room right now. So at this point of time, I would request our district sergeant at arms, logistics manager, my apologies, to please, Jean Gray, to please help us and bring the people who are the poll observers, as well as the list that I've sent you, into a breakout room so that I can show them the final tally and we'll be ready to announce the results of the election.
Mr. Credentials Chair, we have someone who is not in the room who needs to be. I think he got kicked off and he's trying to get back on. So it's requested that we wait till he gets back on. Walter Price he's not in the room right now.
Okay, we can wait for that, Madam.
Okay, thank you.
Madam District Director, the meeting room has been unlocked. So if you could please let Dr. Price know.
Okay, will do. And while we wait on Walter to enter back into the room, we can, no, we're going to wait till Walter get back into the room to move them over. And while we wait on Walter to get back into the room, we will move on to our Public Relations Manager report. Please help me welcome to the floor, Visionary Communicator 4, LaWanna Porter, who serves as our Public Relations Manager.
Thank you, Madam District Director. Hello, District 50. It has been said numerous times that 2020, 2021 was a year like no other, and I say amen to that. It certainly presented challenges for public relations as it did for every facet of personal and organizational life. Thanks to good collaboration with District 50 leaders, several efforts gave us a chance to put our message of leadership and learning in front of our existing members as well as prospects. On at least one occasion every month, there were virtual PR activities, including sharing best practices at meetings of the DEC, the Region 5 PR managers, and TLI sessions. Working with our webmaster, Distinguished Toastmaster Simon Cornelius, we launched a blog on D50. Hopefully you've seen it. Working alongside the D50 Conclave team, we promoted a lineup of amazing speakers, workshops, and fun activities. I want to thank Club Growth Chair, Distinguished Toastmaster Christy Peterson and I, who have collaborated on a number of PR activities. We appeared on a